Welcome, Dacía. Thank you for coming on Moms Don't Have Time to Read Books to discuss the game of life.
Thank you for having me. It is such a pleasure.
I love, by the way, that you start the whole book with the game of life, which I also loved to play as a kid, by the way.
Yes,
Yes.
one of
And
my
I found
favorite
those tiny little pegs that you put in the
games.
car.
No. It is one of my. I used to play it all the time with my cousins, and it's so funny because we have some people like Monopoly and some people like Twister or the different types of games. But the interesting part that I found with the game of life is it's usually females playing the game. I don't know many males that are playing the game of life.
It's true. It's so true. I kind of prefer, I really liked Scrabble. That was my favorite board game. But I did like Monopoly in life too. I don't know. Did you ever
Really,
play
I didn't.
Scrabble? Yeah. No.
I played Scrabble. I was not good at it, but I played
Uh,
it.
um, well, okay, your book, first of all, I misinterpreted at first and I thought it had something to do with weight, like meaning your weight. And then of course, as soon as I opened it, I was like, "Oh, I'm a moron." No, of course, this is all about the waiting game and infertility and oh my gosh, it was great and so I loved how you interwove, is that even a word? How yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I
Um
think it is today.
We'll use it. Your journal entries from that time of your life when you were really struggling, and how you
Yeah.
use terms like doing a spiritual autopsy and just trying to reckon with being, a spiritual Christian and not getting what you want from God. So
Yeah.
tell me about writing this book and why you decided to make it into a book and your journey and everything.
The interesting part is that, like you said, it's journalistic. No one ever expects anyone to read their journal, right? Because it's such an intimate thing. It's so personal. And during that season, and it was like over a matter of maybe 6 years, not really knowing how to process my thoughts. I think sometimes being as Christians, there's this place, take it to prayer, take it to God in prayer, and it becomes a ritual and a rite, and just this routine thing. And it wasn't fixing the thoughts in my head. Really, it really was not. And so I had to come face to face with myself by looking at my journal. I actually went back years prior and saw how devastated I was. And as I started to move out of that place, and I think moving out of that place is, as journaling is therapeutic in a sense, but it was when I started to see myself in the sense of entitlement from reading my book, like God owes me something because I'm a servant, or feeling like, why would you do this to me, and we are not, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Not susceptible to trials and tribulations in life. And for some reason we feel that we do, but it's because we've experienced such a good God, right? When you see the blessings flowing and you're like, oh God, you're so good. Okay, do it again, do it again. But we're not ready for those valley seasons. And so I think around 6 or 7 years into the journal, when I was looking back, I was like no longer in that place. And I had therapy and all of that. Interesting enough, I was in my prayer time and God was like, that's a book, girl. Because if you felt like that, somebody else is feeling like that. And so I was like, it's a book. I don't even know how to write a book. Like, how do I even do this? you know, and it becomes difficult because there's no outline, these just journal pages. I'm just throwing like, do I put this? Do I put this? And it's so literal, like cut and paste was literal for me. I was cutting the paper and like moving it around, like playing puzzle pieces, trying to put this book together. So to come full circle and see it, it's really fulfilling. And it has really been a blessing to hear the testimonies of so many people, so many women in the waiting season, not necessarily just from a fertility season, but just people are waiting for marriage, people are waiting for breakthrough, people are waiting for healing or healing for their family members. And if they don't see it, it's just me trying to give you hope in the waiting season. And the wait part, yeah, it's a play on words, right? So the weighty part is the anxiety, the disparity, the hopelessness, the depression, all of these weights that'll hold you down from progressing forward and feeling hopeful in life.
I love that because everyone has been through something which has required a weight of some kind, and
Absolutely.
everybody knows that feeling, especially when things are out of your control, right?
Hmm.
It's the worst,
Yeah,
particularly for people who like feeling like everything is in their control, and
by
you just have,
nature.
yeah.
It's like we can control it. And God is a sovereign God. We can't control it. Although we think we can, we have no control over certain things. And for me, that was a part of the deliverance in writing the book, is like, look, I'm gonna give this and release all this weight to you. I can't handle it anymore. Like, I can see when I got to a place of agnosticism and really questioning if God was real, I literally was face to face with myself. Like, what is truly wrong? And when you really come to that place of vulnerability and transparency in your spiritual walk, I believe that God will start to show you where you started to taint your vision of Him through your mounting disappointments and experiences, being it you or the experiences that you've seen around other people where you feel like he didn't come through.
And yet his mandate is like be fruitful and multiply, as you
And
point out in the book. And then you're like, so then why am I suddenly barren when this is what you want from me? Like, what the
right,
heck?
yeah, these are your promises, and you said that you're not a man that you shall lie, nor the son of man that you should repent. That all your promises are true. So why is it not coming true for your daughter? Talk to me. And I believe that our heart's desires, the things that we desire in life, are truly God's desires for us. But there is this element of perfect timing that we all forget about. I can't imagine having a kid in my late 20s. I can't even imagine having a kid in my early 30s because I was so driven in another life, so selfish. And I believe that He will teach us things during that wait, either about ourselves or even about the people that around us and how we can be more loving and giving to other people. So it's perfect timing too. It's that scripture, I think it's Proverbs 20:21, like, an inheritance gained too soon will be lost in the end. It can't come quicker. If it comes quicker, like, what are you going to do? It's like giving a baby a keys to a brand new car. What are they going to do with it? Like, what's it going to do with it? Crash it.
Well, I love how you put all these interviews with different sort of celebrities or notable women or people sort of reflecting back on their timing and what it was like for them, and did they miss their moment, and did they, when they were 20 something and at the height of fame, Tyra Banks, for example, was she thinking about having kids, or what
Yeah.
happens later? And then
Yeah.
of course on top of that is the timing that's like a miracle that like really any children are conceived. I mean, it's really the odds. It's just like, how does it ever work? But it
It is
does.
truly a miracle. And even if, for those that might be dealing with infertility or a barren season, whether it's the male or the female, and even as you start to contemplate procedures, it's still a miracle because
Yep.
sometimes the procedures don't work, right?
Yep.
And so literally you have to take a step back and be like, yo, you are in complete control, whether you decide to go natural or whether you decide alternative procedures. There is still this force that has the ultimate say, right? And relinquishing control is the key to really manifesting those things into existence. That's my thought, my
I
point of
always
view.
say that like I have twins who I was 30 when they were born, but then I really wanted more kids, and anyway, whatever, long story, I won't get into it. But uh they were a total miracle. I like had this kid and I thought I was done. I had given away all my baby stuff and it was almost physically impossible that I could I was going to get pregnant right then, but I did. And like that's all I say is like, oh my gosh. And then it was like a joke because right after I had that baby, I got pregnant again and my doctors were laughing, like, yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, these miracles happen. And,
Yeah,
I always tell my kids, like, they're such miracles. I don't know. It's just like divine intervention. That's what I always say.
absolutely. I mean, it's stories like those that are inspiring just in general and attest to relinquishing, relinquishing.
Relinquishing
I
control.
know
It's
this word.
true.
It's 9 a.m. over here, Zibby. Okay. Control is such an imperative part of that, if you ask me. It's just, there's something about the surrender. that, gives the universe this turn. I don't know.
I buy into it. I wholeheartedly agree. I do. So you revealed a lot about not just yourself, which of course, as most memoirists do by trade, essentially,
Yeah.
but also your husband, who at first didn't even want to get tested for his own stuff, and yet now all of his personal
It's
information
out there, huh?
is out there. How is he cool with that? I mean, what is that like?
He's a trooper. My husband is very supportive, number one. And the other side of that is this experience has been so humbling for him. He's like, I don't care. God has taken me to the ultimate place of humility that tell the world in hopes that it will be a blessing to someone else, right? Because in this case, my husband was the one diagnosed with male factor infertility. And a part of my healing was speaking on my entrapment and what I felt at that time. And I believe as a husband that's truly supportive of you, then they will come along for the ride if it means your freedom and your liberty, right? I'm not telling him to get on the mantle and speak with me. I'm not telling him to hop on the platform and tell his story in his own words. These are my words. This is my perception of my reality. And sometimes, we can feel like we're invading someone else's life with our truth, but it's my truth because I'm experiencing it. And I believe that we have ownership of that. And if it was a very sensitive subject for him, I probably would have written it in a third person, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for him, he's cool. And then he has his talks with men, and they feel comfortable. Friends of ours that have read it, they're like, oh, us too, man, and he'll talk about it with them. So I think that eventually it'll become an us thing, and we'll probably do marriage ministries and talk about all the struggles that encompass this and other things. But he's so cool with it. He calls himself the co-author because
Oh,
his
nice.
story is in it. He's like, I'm a co-author here.
And what about the quote idiot boyfriend who gave you, or not even boyfriend, the guy who gave you the thing that was, I don't even want to say it in case you, I mean, I know you write about it, but I don't want to like give away your stuff, but that
Yeah, read the
guy,
book. Read the book.
read the book. But that guy, did he read the book? Do you have any idea? Are you still in touch with him?
No idea. I should have someone send it to him,
You should.
like on the slide. I wonder.
You want me to FedEx him a
It's a
copy or
really
something?
Yeah, I wonder. That's a really good question. I won't say. I won't say because
Okay.
if I say what era it was, people are gonna know off bat who it is. So I won't even say
Okay,
what
don't
era
even,
of
don't
life.
even. Well,
But I hope
I
it
think
is.
he needs an anonymous delivery.
Yeah. If I find his address, I'll send it to you and have you send it to
I'll
him.
do it. I will totally do it. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a part of that too is deliverance, and liberty and freedom because there's a taboo subject around that thing. We won't say what that thing is because
Okay.
we want them to read the book, but that too. And I felt like exposing that
Mm-hmm.
and feeling like our past hinders our future. And sometimes it really does because there are things that can
Yep.
happen that can be a hindrance later on in life. But in this case, it's mental shackles too, right?
Yep.
Because you're like, oh, what happened? What did I do back in the day that would have stifled this situation or my blessing from God? What did I do? And internalizing those things. So that was a part of freedom too, because God is a God who forgives. He doesn't care, like, and he heals, and things like that. So that was healing in and of itself. It's like, yeah, I said it. What do you have to say to it? You can't judge me for it now because I've given to you to speak about it. No
um,
shame.
Wait, will you tell me a little more about your really exciting career? I mean, you've done such cool stuff. And now, by the way, I saw on your website, I don't know if this is even still true, that you still offer a hip hop. Do you still offer a class on Saturdays?
I do.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Okay. My girls and I are going to have to do this.
Yes, I do. If I'm not available, which is which is rare because I kind of have etched it into my schedule. But yeah, Saturday mornings, and this started during the pandemic.
I figured.
I started, offering class for free as a way to give back. And it's a nice, good sweat. So yes, Saturday mornings, I
Okay.
do offer a beginner, very
Good.
groovalicious class because everyone is not a dancer. And if they came in and I gave them 25 eight counts, they probably would never come back.
I don't even know what
Um,
that means, so okay.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like a move and a groove, like
Oh,
something that you would enjoy. The music is phenomenal. So yeah, I truly have been blessed career-wise. I moved from Galveston, Texas, after I graduated from college. I went to Texas State University, and my degree is actually in sociology and biology, and with the intent of going to medical school to become a pediatrician because I do love kids. I really love kids. But that was the agreement that I had with my mother, coming from a very small town mentality: be a teacher, be a doctor, be a lawyer. The goal is to get you a good, stable job.
mm-hmm.
And we made a deal. We shook. And I said, okay, I will do this because this is your perception of your reality for me. But then I need for you to trust me as I take a leap of faith and really go pursue the thing that I believe that God put in me. And she was kind of distraught and shocked and did not believe it until my Honda Civic was packed up to the top with my MapQuest in my passenger seat. And I was pulling out of the garage and she's like, oh, you're serious? I said, I told you I was serious. I am out of here. And I drove to Los Angeles and the rest is history. And within that year, I had got into production school, and I also, I became a PA, a production assistant for those, or what they used to call a gopher. Go get this,
Mm-hmm.
go get
Mm-hmm.
that, go pick that up. And I went to this amazing school, Streetlights. I don't even know if Streetlights is still open, but it was a nonprofit school that was cultivated to put people of color in the industry, more people of color in the industry. And so I got into that school and they put me out to work. And one of the greatest jobs that I've ever landed as a production assistant was Dreamgirls. And while I was working on Dreamgirls, I was able to meet some amazing people. And then I was just dancing for fun on the side. And a friend of mine who was a choreographer said, hey, Dacía, I think you need to get an agent and start dancing full time because you pick up choreography well. And I knew I always wanted to be a dancer or choreographer, but somewhere in my mind, where my mom, had kind of
Mm-hmm.
implemented this is not a real job situation, there was a hesitancy there. So I would much rather be a producer or a director or something that felt a little bit more stable, but was still in the entertainment industry. But I stepped out on faith, and it was such a moment because my first gig was the Grammys when I stepped out on faith as a dancer. And to me, that's what God needed to confirm that was my route for me. Because if it was like a smaller gig, I probably still would have been like, hey, do I really want to do this? But when you hit the Super Bowl of music, that's you're like, oh God, oh wait, you doing something for real, for real, for real. So that was just kind of like the start of my career. And then I can tell you something. After that big job, I think for a year it was like silent. And I was like, "Are you kidding me? What the? This is like ride the wave. What's next? What's next?" And I remember the next day I went to audition for Stomp the Yard, and I bombed that audition. Like bombed. I was like, "What the heck, God? I'm hot." He's like, "No, you're not hot. Go sit down and continue to train. Like, go continue to train." And so I just continue to train and just get better and better as a dancer, which making a dancer is much better than being a PA because the money and the hours, 16 hours, 17-hour days as a PA, 8 hours as a dancer, almost the same rate. Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to go as a performer.
So then things obviously picked back up.
Yeah, they did. I don't know what was next. Oh, maybe low, 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 low. That with Flow
Yeah.
Rider. I'm definitely in that video. Don't tell anyone.
I'm
You
gonna go
guys
watch
don't
it
tell
right now.
anyone.
I'm gonna go watch it.
You will. Hopefully I'm like in the back. I can't even
Okay.
remember. Yeah, I got an agent and everything just kind of started to manifest to confirm that this was the place that I was gonna be. And I started to teach, choreography. And it really affirmed that thing that was put in me. Like it really affirmed that thing that was put in me. And once I finished Dreamgirls, I did get a call from Jennifer to choreograph her tour, Jennifer Hudson. And so I ended up choreographing her tour after that. And so many great jobs. Fatima Robinson is the top of the top, cream of the crop muse of choreographers. And when I tell you, once I met her on Dreamgirls, because she was the choreographer of Dreamgirls, I worked with her so much, from Black Eyed Peas to the Soul Train Music Awards to BET. Like literally, Dreamgirls really set the trajectory. And although I thought I was going as a production assistant, I was actually making those connections that was going to take me back to the original plan that God had for me.
So what is what is coming next for you now? You have this book, obviously, and coveting publicity, and like, what about the dance stuff? And like, how are you managing all of this?
How am I? Okay, how am I managing? Pray
I don't
for me.
know. I'm asking.
Pray for me. I am currently doing as much press as possible. My schedule has been crazy with press for the book, which is phenomenal. But there's also summertime coming up. So I do like to dedicate a lot of my time by sewing back into summer camps. So there are 3 or 4 summer camps that I have lined up where I will be teaching kids the business of show business and really the audition room, how to audition well. And that'll probably encompass a lot of my summertime, as well as I am in graduate school. I am getting my master's, and I have summer session and fall session, and then I will be done with my master's. And so I am busy, but busy doing what I want to do. That's what I'll say in this season. But it gets to this point to where time management is important for me. And I am at the place where I can say no to things. If it's not benefiting me or benefiting my purpose, it's never about the money for me, but the purpose, it's purpose over popularity for me. And so I'm really going to continue to hone into the things that I feel that God has called me to do in this season. And then, of course, you can catch me on Come to America, which is on Amazon, and Genius, which is on Hulu, and any other secret projects I can't tell you right now. But if they go to my website, I always keep them updated.
Okay. I saw Coming to America too. Now I have to go back and watch it again.
Oh yeah, you got to go watch it. I'll tell you, when you I don't know. Some people might not have seen it, but it's like the beginning scene when you see Gladys Knight. I'll just say that when you see Gladys Knight,
okay.
and you'll see me in the right corner of her. Yeah.
No way. Okay.
Yeah, right to the right. Yeah, she was amazing. Oh, so gracious. Great.
Okay.
Oh, Gladys Knight was amazing.
Oh my gosh. Well, now I have all this fun stuff I get to watch again. So, this is great. Okay. Time management. Insert watching footage because this is work, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's totally America again. Yeah.
Research. It's
research.
Research.
Yeah. Research. Got to be better prepared for next time or something. Awesome. Thanks. Well, Dacía, thank you so much for coming on the show. Congratulations on your book. Good luck with all the publicity and getting through all of that. And thanks for stopping in here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me, and you have a wonderful day.
And when you're ready, I will FedEx that book to that guy. So don't forget, I'm not even kidding. I'm not kidding. Okay. Keep it in the back of your mind. Okay.
I'll keep it in the back of my mind.
Okay, back burner. It'll come up. Just wait. Okay, bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.